And welcome back to the next episode of G-Senjou no Maou. We left off in some kind of cliffhanger, even though it was an end, but something exciting is gonna happen now, I assume. It's most likely that those scenes seem to be the ones that push forward the actual story. I have the feeling this game has a lot of... I have all crumbles in my face. A lot of filling things that are more important for character development, but not for the actual thing. But I go through them anyway, and I can't quite distinguish them as well. So yeah, let's go with this. The wind tonight is cold enough to pierce through one's skin. Kidnapping. A crime said to be one of the most despicable. However, which crime isn't despicable? Maou fully understands that the action he is about to take is a sin. His people had already done a background check. He found the answer. The reason Miwa Tsubaki's family won't sell the land has nothing to do with money. That land has been in her family since the First World War. Her father is very stubborn. There was no telling how much time it would take using conventional methods to get him to sell. And even if they did take the time out to try, it was doubtful that the result would be a desirable one. This isn't a financial problem, but even so, there's a financial loophole. There are indeed many times where money cannot solve matters. Maou must at least admit that. There are emotions, love, family, certain kinds of pride. Things that are more important than money to many. However, even for these exceptions, there's always a way to convert such things to something more fiscal. I have to write that one down. I actually have my own little notebook here. It's a vocabulary book. I specifically got myself to write down every vocabulary I don't know. So yeah. This. And after the episode I will always look up what it means. Maou's plot is to transform this issue from an emotional one into an economic one. They want to burn down the apple trees. So he strips the family away of his financials, and so they need to take the money to actually survive. That plot took on the shape of a crime. A crime in perfect form. This is all he had to say? Okay. After that, the only thing remaining is to see how Usami will respond. He left that place with the faint stride of an evil spirit. Still chapter 2. I haven't really expected that the chapter would be already over. The next day, I went to Dr. Akimoto's clinic. Oh, his psychologist?
Yeah, Kyosuke-kun. Ohayo.
Hey, Kyosuke-kun. Good morning. Wait, I want to see the full picture, just for my own sake. And because I can do this. Okay. The counseling room is clean, and Akimoto is smiling like the Buddha, as always. Good morning. I hope that our hour today is fruitful.
わかってるよ。学園もあるだろうしね。
As do I. You have school today, right? I won't be showing up until this afternoon, though.
さて、 前回はどんな話をしていたっけ？
Now, let's see. What were we talking about in our last session? We were talking about my childhood.
よく覚えてるね。
I'm surprised you remember.
いや失礼。前回の最後にも君のことを忘れっぽい性格だなんて言ってしまったね。
Oh, I'm sorry. At the end of the last session, I said something about you having a forgetful personality. Is that so? I don't remember, and it doesn't bother me.
覚えてない？
You don't remember? What about it? I smiled slightly. Surely you aren't implying that I'm suffering from some form of memory illness?
いやいや安心して。君が診察料を払い忘れたことはないよ。
No, relax. You've never forgotten to pay your consolation fee. That's a relief. This doctor is pretty good with words.
今回聞いてみたいのはね、京介くん。
What I want to ask you about this time, Kyosuke-kun. His pudgy round face closed in slightly.
君のお父さんのことなんだ。
Is your father? You mean Asai Gonzo? I think he meant his real father. It feels like he's talking about someone else. And he is.
実のお父さんだよ。
I mean your real father. Oh yeah, he's a little bulged guy, so I could fit the voice appropriately. Suddenly, my stomach started to ache. Who was his father? This could be interesting. He was a trading company employee.
うん。
Yes. Although he was deep in debt, he was always a wonderful father in my mind.
なるほど。
I see. Otherwise, there's nothing much to say. I turned away from Dr. Akimoto.
亡くなっているのかな？
Did he pass away? Gonzo hasn't told you? Gonzo was the one who introduced me to Dr. Akimoto.
何も？
No. He looked long and hard at me. How can you look to someone long and hard? Is this long and hard? Oh, my eyes are popping. Oh, and now I'm teary. Anyway, would you mind if we change the subject? I don't want to remember these things. I definitely don't want to remember these things. That is a door I've always locked tightly.
それだけ嫌な出来事があったんだね。
Judging from your reaction, I gather that something truly upsetting must have happened. Is that right? Dr. Akimoto, please change the subject. Good lord. I never once asked for any real therapy sessions from you. I just need the doctor's note so the school will excuse my absences. That's why I cough up the money to uphold these partial conversations.
京介くん、君にやる気がなくても、私はいつも本気なんだよ。仕事だからね。
Kyosuke-kun, even though you don't plan on cooperating with me, I refuse to treat these sessions as a formality. After all, this is my job. He spoke almost as if he could see right through me.
遊びじゃないんだよ。ね？
I don't like the deep voice. He doesn't sound like a bigger person. Do you understand? This isn't a game, alright? At that moment, a proverb sprang into my mind. You can't judge a book by its cover. There was something important that I was forgetting. That's right, you're an acquaintance of Gonzo, after all. For a moment, I saw the expression of a wild boar in that pudgy face, gazing sharply at me.
君に何の異常もないというのなら、すぐにも通うのをやめてもらう。重ねて言うが、私だって仕事なんだよ。時間は貴重だ。君ならわかるね。
If there's nothing wrong with you, then please stop making appointments. I'll say it again. This is my job. My time is precious. You can identify with that, can't you? In other words, Dr. Akimoto, you suspect that there might actually be something wrong with me? There's definitely something wrong with you if your mindset is that there's nothing you can't buy with money. Come on! That you can't get it into your head that people can even thrive to just help other people without getting anything back. You think those peoples are weird, but you are the weird one here. Akimoto shook his head in a vague manner. He never answered that question. Never mind. We were talking about my biological father. Is that right?
名前を聞いてもいいかな。
May I ask his name? Toshikatsu. I purposely left out his family name.
商社に勤めていらっしゃったと。
You say he held a position in a trading company? In the Sanou Corporation.
はは。
Oh, that one. Whenever people hear of someone working at Sanou, they immediately get the impression of a great and well-educated man. This impression isn't mistaken.
じゃあ転勤が多かったんじゃないかな。海外とか行ったか。
So, were you forced to relocate often? Often, not often. Or is it often? I don't know. Often. I think often was the right one. The T is silent. Often. Did you ever go overseas? No, not very often. Often? Often? I'm confused now. Well, not from what I can remember, anyway. I'm pretty sure he was an accountant in the main branch.
そっか。君はちょっと普通のことは違うから帰国子女なのかと思ったよ。
Really? You're quite different from most normal kids, so I thought you might have grown up overseas. I chuckled and shook my head.
ところで、君のお父さんは商社に勤めていて、どうして借金を？
Oh, right. Given your father's occupation, why would he need to borrow money? I believe he wanted to build his dream house. That was supposed to be a joke.
偏見かもしれないが、山王物産の経理をしていたような方が、マイホームを持つのに消費者金融を頼るとは思えないよ。
This might just be a preconceived notion, but I don't believe that someone working as an accountant for Sanou Corporation would rely on consumer loans to build his dream house. Dr. Akimoto is exactly right, and in order to pay for his debt, father had to get his hands on dirty money. He was swindled. I have to write that down, I'm not pretty sure what it is. I always have a vague notion about what it could be. So the context of the whole conversation is not totally out of my hand. But I just want to make sure if I'm right or not later on.
騙された。
Swindled? You know, swindled. Swindled by his trusted friend and ended up becoming his guarantor. Guarantor. There we go. Dr. Akimoto gulped when he heard that. This.
ちょっと待ってくれないか。
Can you stop for a minute? It seems he figured it out.
君のお父さんというのは。
About your father. An expression of fear and awe spread across his face.
ひょっとして。
Could he be... That's right.
利勝と言ったね。
Toshikatsu, you said? I was aware that my heart was rapidly becoming cold. Yes, he's that Samejima Toshikatsu. After that, time seemed to pass in an instant. Dr. Akimoto didn't say a word afterward. He just closed his eyes. After leaving the room, I finally calmed down. What? Did I forgot? Did I miss something in there? It seems something very, very horrible has to have happened to his father. Otherwise, this would not what happened. Oh mein Gami Kai. I headed for school. She's back. Upon arriving at school, Kennen immediately began to pester me. It seemed that she'd been absent from school for a while due to a training camp. Listen, listen, listen! Oh, what is it? Everyone, listen! What? What could it be? Yeah, she threw her chin up into the air as if to herald her bragging. Nanchan's gonna be on TV! Amazing! Whoa, when? It's going to be live! Yeah, when? And I'll be a special guest! So, when is it? It's a program called 24 Hours Live. Damn it, listen to me when I say something, you little bitch. Hey, not bad. If you're invited to be a guest on that program, then it means you've really made it big. What will you be doing? Well, I'll be on Central Boulevard. Supposedly, I'll be cheering on some marathon runners that night. That night? And Nanchan's going to be waiting where those runners come to rest, and Nanchan's going to give them water. Is that so? Then a lot of people will show up to see that, won't they? When people gather, money gathers. That's great, Kennen. Yay! Nissan complimented me. Yusami was the next to speak. I've also been on television. Huh? Huh? Really? No, it's an obvious load of bull. As what? Some gloomy character on a comedy show? No, as an artist. An entertainer? You could call it that. So it really was one of those comedy shows. Now she's changing the topic after trying to get the attention. Well, should we really be talking about me? Aren't you the one who brought this up? You are funny, Usamin. I guess it makes sense that you were a comedian. I hate it when they are so slow. Everyone's so amazing. I'm the only one not doing anything that stands out, but I'm okay with that. Period. Lunch break ended on this strange, absurd note. I dashed out of the classroom right as the bell rang. I was weaving my way through the students as I spoke over the phone. Yes, this is Ardai Kyosuke. I'm heading over there right now. I need to talk with Sanoo Corporation's developers. I really don't want to meet with them face to face, but given that the situation still hasn't been settled after all this time, I have to at least apologize in person.
Azai-kun!
Oh, Ardai-kun! I heard Tsubaki's voice. I ignored her and continued my phone call. Oh, a bit late? I see. No, it's okay. Looks like I still have some time before the meeting. So Tsubaki had great timing.
Azai-kun, ちょっと遊んでいかない？
Ardai-kun, can we go out for a bit? After saying goodbye, I turned off my cell phone and turned towards Tsubaki. It should be okay if it's only for an hour or so. Sure! How about Central Boulevard? Yeah, sounds good! She nodded like a little kid.
昨日のお礼がしたかったんだよ。
I wanted to repay you for yesterday. Yesterday?
ひろあき、探してくれたでしょ？
We're helping look for Hiroaki. Remember? What? Oh, why? That was nothing.
変なAzai-kun。
You're acting so weird, Ardai-kun. We headed for Central Boulevard. Central Boulevard's always crowded around dusk. So, how do you plan to repay me?
クラシックの CD とかどうかなと思って。
Well, how about I buy you a classical CD? Oh, a gift?
何がいいかな？
What would you like? Thank you for your gesture, but I already own all the CDs I want.
ああ、それもそうだね。Azai-kun、クラシック通だもんね。
Oh, I should have guessed. You really do love classical music after all. A fanatic? Me? Well, I wouldn't go that far. If I called myself a fanatic, I'd offend the true fanatics.
別にマニアとか言ってないんだけどな。
Wait, I didn't even call you a fanatic. Oh, wait a minute. Perhaps that will be coming out soon.
あれ？
What will? A CD by a favorite musician of mine. Although she's taking a break from music, a publishing company is still releasing her CDs. When a company has copyrights to the music, even if the musicians no longer play, they can still repackage and re-release their works.
何の楽器？
Which instrument does she play? The violin.
へえ、バイオリンなんだ。
Really? Ah, the violin. No, not violin. Violin. It's a V for violin. Or a V for Vince.
ごめん。
Ah, sorry. Her interpretation of air is my favorite.
エールって言うと？
By air, you mean? Air on the G string. It's so moving that it brings tears to my eyes. Recently I hear it's been used as a requiem. I can see why too. I wouldn't mind resting in peace if I got to do so to that song. Wait. Air on the G string. Air on the G string. G-Senjou no Maou also is called Devil on the G string. So, is this relatable? I guess.
G-Senjouのアリアって鎮魂歌なの？
So, is Air on the G string a requiem? Well, not really, but hey, you remember that big terrorist attack in America a while back? It was used doing that.
へえ、知らなかった。
Wow, I didn't know that. Anyway, I'm really looking forward to it.
楽しそうだね。
You look really happy. Yeah,
楽しそうだね。
you look really happy. Why did you say that twice?
浅井くん、クラシックの話になると生き生きするね。
Adai-kun, you immediately brighten up whenever you talk about classical music. Well, maybe.
浅井くんが楽しそうだと、なんだか私も嬉しいよ。
Whenever I see you like this, I also feel happier for some reason. I see. She really can spout some corny things. And so naturally at that. Anyway, don't bother buying me a CD. Why don't you just treat me to a cup of coffee? You don't have any part-time jobs, do you?
そうだよ。
No, I don't. What about an allowance? I looked at the coffee sitting in front of me, the coffee Tsubaki paid for.
うちってそんなに裕福なわけじゃないからね。
No, my family's not that well off. So, have you been saving your money?
夏休みとお正月にアルバイトしてたんだよ。それでなんとかやりくりしてるの。
Yeah, some. I had jobs over New Year's and summer break. I can get by with those. You don't work during the semester?
弟を保育園に迎えに行ったりするからね。アルバイトしている暇はないかな。
Well, I have to go to the kindergarten to pick up my brother, so I don't have time to work after school. I see. That's why you went home so quickly that other time. I'm pretty sure this is the second time I've had coffee with Tsubaki. Last time we just chatted for a little bit before parting.
今日ももう少ししたら帰るね。
Actually, I need to head down there soon. To Hiroaki's kindergarten? Tsubaki nodded. I decided to use this opportunity to get some information. Well, you have quite a large family, right?
そうだね。びっくりしたでしょ。
Yeah, were you surprised? What about family expenses? Your budget's generally pretty tight, huh? I totally mispronounced that, I guess.
どうかな。苦労したことはないけど。
I'm not sure. It's never been that bad. I put on a gentle face. You know, I heard something from an acquaintance in real estate.
うん。
What? Your family's land is situated right in the middle of a market hotspot right now. Your folks might as well be sitting on a gold mine.
そうらしいね。
It does seem that way. And don't take this the wrong way, but if your dad decided to sell, there are supposedly people willing to pay for your move and the first month of rent at your new house. Tsubaki remained silent. I shouldn't push her too quickly. Sorry, you probably don't want to move, do you?
心配してくれてるんだよね。
It's okay. You're just worried about us, right? Well, the reality is they are backed by Sano. The local government seems to be cooperating with them in the development of this tourist attraction as well. Things might get hairy if you keep rejecting their offers.
うちの近くの景色もどんどん変わってるもんね。ご近所さんもかなりいなくなっちゃったみたい。
My neighborhood has definitely been changing lately, and neighbors have started to move away one by one. Well, while the term land sharks does sound bad, they are thinking about what's best for everyone. Those moving out, as well as those developing.
スキー場の周りに遊園地とかできたら町の人も喜ぶもんね。
Yeah, if there was an amusement park near the ski resort, the whole city would be happy. Although those developing the land benefit far more than those people who are pushed into selling their family land.
ひょっとして 大きな目で見たら、うちがわがまましてるってことになるのかな。
So, you're saying that in the big picture, my family's being selfish here? I wouldn't go that far. That's exactly what I'm saying.
でもね、浅井くん、
Still, Adai-kun. Tsubaki's eyes were huge. They are already huge.
私はお父さんの意見に従うんだよ。
I'll abide by Dad's decision. I could almost feel her passion.
だって家族だもの。
After all, we are family. Before my eyes were... Wait. Before my eyes were her true intentions, doubtless, unwavering, and stripped bare.
お父さんはたとえあの辺でうちだけが取り残されても出ていかないと思うな。
Dad said that even if we're the only family left, he still won't move.
私、そういうお父さんを応援したいの。
That's how he feels, and I want to support him. In other words, even if I get Tsubaki on my side, it's to no avail. She'll choose her family over her lover. You are not even yet her lover. Don't get ahead of yourself. I see. You and your father are really close, aren't you?
大好きだよ。
I love him. I wish I could relate to that, but I can't stand my own father. He is a big douche. But I really would like to have... Well, actually I have a stepfather that is pretty cool. Of all the youth fooling around this time of night on Central Boulevard, how many would say with a serious face that they love their fathers? You and your dad must share a lot of fond memories or something.
思い出？
Memories? You know what I mean. Beautiful stories maybe? Like, oh, when I was little I got lost in the mountain and my dad searched for me day and night. That sort of thing. Tsubaki chuckled.
特にないよ。全然普通だよ。家族でちょっとおしゃれなレストランに食事したり、みんなでリンゴ取ったりしたくらいかな。
Seriously? Nothing in particular comes to mind. We're a regular family. We pick apples together every once in a while. And we've been out to eat at a nice restaurant a couple of times. But that's about it. That's it? Yeah, that's it?
美談か。そういうのなくても、お父さんは大好きだよ。
Beautiful stories. Well, even without those, I love my dad. There's always been something I didn't like about Tsubaki, but now I knew what it was. She's too perfect. Okay. It had irked me when she went to help Yusami. Tsubaki trusts her friends just because they are her friends. Tsubaki trusts her family just because they are her family. So someone like me, who doesn't trust anyone, feels uncomfortable. I find myself wondering how someone like that could really exist.
あ、ごめん。そろそろ帰らなきゃ。
Oh, sorry, I need to get going. Wow, it's gotten pretty late.
昨日は本当にありがとう。これからもよろしくね。
Thanks again for yesterday. I hope we can do this again soon. But this is pretty interesting. She's too perfect. No, I think the right term is she's too naive. I mean, yeah, you are my friend. I trust you no matter what. Yes, they are my family. I love them no matter what. And yes, you... And he's someone who trusts. No, yeah, it kind of makes sense. Okay. The brightness of her smile irritated me somehow. After parting with Tsubaki, I immediately made a phone call. On the other end of the line is the person I was originally supposed to be visiting in person, Sanu Corporation's developer. I'm terribly sorry. There was an emergency that I couldn't put off. Yes, I understand. I make it happen. Yes. I was in a horrible mood. Oh. The daylight hours were very short today. Yep. The sky had already turned a shade of violet, and the streets in the eastern district would soon welcome the night. Dusk is the time of day when people are least on their guard. This might also hold true for children.
Moya, konnichiwa.
Hi, little buddy. How are you? Maou had prepared a mask specifically for this occasion and disguised his voice along with his face. The child showed no suspicion. He walked over to Maou, and as we all know, Maou means devil. There was absolutely no one around. This sidewalk was near the park, on a lightly traveled pedestrian path. Overgrown Zarkova trees, unkept by the city, gave respite from prying eyes. Due to its distance from the center of Tomanbetsu city, few people ever came here. That said, if someone suddenly showed up, he would abort his plan. After all, as he stood there now, Maou looked incredibly conspicuous. Oh, it's a horse! The child showed much interest in Maou's horse mask. What is it, Mr. Horse? Maou bent to his knees and spoke.
困ってるんだ。道がわからないんだよ。
I'm in a bit of trouble. I think I'm lost.
道がわからないの？
You're lost?
助けてもらえないかな。
Can you help me? At that moment, the boy showed a bright, innocent smile.
助けるよ。困ってる人は助けなきゃいけないってお姉ちゃんが言ってたんだ。
Sure, I help. Oni-chan told me once, you have to help those in need.
そう。ありがとう。いいお姉ちゃんだね。
Oh, really? Then I thank you. Your Oni-chan is a wonderful person.
どこに行きたいの？
Where do you want to go?
美輪さんの家に行きたいんだ。
I want to go to the Miwa residence.
庭？
うん。知らないかな？
Yes, do you know of it? The boy's big eyes grew even bigger.
庭って僕のお家だよ。
Shoot! That's my house! Under his mask, Maou widened his eyes, as if he was surprised.
へえ。案内してもらえないかな？
Really? Then can you take me there?
いいよ。
Sure! The boy warms easily to strangers. What did you taught your child? Never trust a stranger. He hasn't learned yet to distrust others.
車なんだけど、乗ってもらえるかな？
I have a car. Would you ride with me? Oh god, I just imagined if he would have said, would you ride on me? Maou turned around and pointed to a white sedan he had parked there earlier.
お馬さんなのに車なの？
Even a horse needs a car? He tilted his little head skeptically. Surely even a Miwa child at his age has been told not to get into a stranger's car. Maou quickly thought of something.
お馬さん怪我してるんだ。だから自分の足で歩けないんだ。
Mr. Horse has an injury, so he can't walk on his own.
大丈
Are you okay?
坊やに案内してもらえればきっと大丈夫だよ。
If you'll help me get to where I'm going, then I'm sure I'll be fine.
夫？わかった。僕頑張るね。
Got it! I'll do my best! He immediately ran toward the car. When Maou opened the door, he promptly jumped into the back seat. Maou followed the boy inside and sat beside him. Another man sits in the driver's seat, as expected. He's not Japanese. He's a foreign criminal specifically hired for this particular plan. Even if the police catch him, he'll simply be extradited. Whatever the... Extradited? What's this even for a word? What? Oh, I'm really slow in writing, but my handwriting is pretty shit, but it's easier to write like that. That's why these troublemaking foreigners make the perfect accomplices for a crime such as tonight's. Give him money, tell him what he needs to do, and then tell him to go back home. Preparations have already been made for him to stow away somewhere. Because he doesn't know much Japanese, he can't leak the plan by talking too much. The chance that the driver will reveal the identity of Maou to the police is 0. The door closed. Maou continued to inspect the surroundings carefully to confirm that there were no witnesses. The more bungling kidnappers end up getting caught because they didn't take care in this first dangerous step. One cannot underestimate the missing person search capabilities of the police. A top detective will search every nook and cranny, ask every possible eyewitness until he finds a lead. Having a witness to the crime is basically forfeiting the match from the very beginning. He absolutely must not have a single person witness what has occurred here. No pedestrians passed by. There were also no residences around here, so there was no chance that someone may have seen it through a nearby window. Maou quickly checked in every direction to make sure everything was clear.
Go.
This was easy. With absolute confidence, he gave an order in English. The car quietly moved forward.
ねえ、どこ行くの？僕んちはあっちだよ。
Where are we going? My house is that way. But he got kidnapped, as I said. He is about to get kidnapped. The boy got up in his seat. He put one hand on Mao's knees while pointing out the window. The boy's slender neck was right in front of Mao's eyes. Mao took out a piece of white cloth from his pants pocket. He slowly unfolded it until the cloth covered his entire white hand. There was no drug like ether or chloroform on that piece of cloth.
Hiroaki-kun.
For the first time, he called the boy by name.
どうしてお馬さんが僕の名前を知って？
Why does Mr. Horse know my name? Mao reached out his hand. The boy could not finish his question. Maou aimed for his neck. Specifically the left and right carotid arteries. I don't know what a carotid means, but I guess he's just he strangles him unconscious. This is what I'm getting out of this. He doesn't drug him, he harms him, but in a way that will only have minor damage to his body, and he used the white cloth so he wouldn't leave any marks, fingerprints or DNA on him. With the speed of a spider, his thumb and middle finger pinched down. He didn't want to cause any unnecessary pain. It was only a few seconds until the boy lost consciousness. This guy knows techniques like that! And he seems to be not even older than Kyosuke and Yusami. And he knows all those things. He runs a dark company and has this kind of abilities. Maou had been prepared for incontinence, but the child only foamed at the mouth a bit. After wiping everything clean, the only thing remaining was the 5-year-old boy sleeping peacefully. The purpose of the claws was to prevent any of the boy's DNA from getting underneath his fingernails. Told ya. Of course, to be extra certain, he'll take a shower tonight and burn the cloth he wore today. He didn't want to leave even a single strand of hair to not have his DNA anywhere. The boy's DNA from getting... Fair. This is an absolute precaution against any potential police investigation later on. Unlikely as it is for one to occur in the first place. His was a pathological caution. But without such caution, he'd never complete the perfect crime.
いい子だ。
What a good little boy. He spoke to himself. Night fell. The streetlights shone into the car, helplessly streaming onto the boy's innocent face. "10 o'clock at night. For now, the boy is resting in a condemned building in the suburbs for safekeeping. It was a decrepit hospital. Okay. Decrepit. The locals won't go near the place. Even the homeless won't touch the building this time of the year. This knowledge is the result of the TH is the hardest word for me. Thorough investigation. No matter how much the boy screams and cries, no one will come. It's a splendid building for kidnappers. Of course, to prevent him from escaping, all the locks must be secured. The door to the boy's room is made so that it cannot be opened from the inside. Inside the room are 3 blankets and plenty of food and water. There's also a heater set at a comfortable temperature. Though he'll need better care before too long, he can be left alone for now without fear of him dying. What about a toilet? I mean, he has to pee. He can't just pee, or he shouldn't pee in just the corner of the room. I mean, he could, but it would stink and he could get really, really sick from it. Maou entered the next phase of his plan and headed toward the Southern District residential area. He strolled alone through the streets of the quiet, affluent area. The goal of a kidnapper is to receive a ransom. Maou knew the basics of his plan. He was now inspecting the locale, making sure there were no holes in his strategy. On the whole, there seemed to be no problems. Feeling satisfied, he started for the nearest subway station. Staying there too long may cause people to find him suspicious. The Southern District is a well-to-do area, so there are bound to be many policemen patrolling the streets. Suddenly a voice came from the sky.
浅井くん
Wait, Azai? Azai? Azai Kyosuke. No. This is Maou, isn't it? It came from the top floor of a huge 3-story mansion. Leaning on the rail of her balcony, a young woman stood alone. He looked at the gate's nameplate. Shiratori. Wait, I heard that name before. Wait, was this his former name? No, what was this name? This house belonged to the owner of a local development company and the director of Yuga Saki.
こんな時間に何をしているの
Shiratori. Or is this a white-haired girl? No, this can't be. What are you doing here at this time of night? Although he couldn't see the girl's expression clearly, her tone showed transparent hostility and disdain. Oh, is it the white-haired girl? Maou was forced to quickly make a decision. Should he answer her, or simply ignore her and walk away? After a moment's hesitation, Maou lowered his head and spoke.
誰かと間違えていないか
You must mistaking me for someone else. He spoke only those words and walked away.
ちょっと待ちなさい
Hey, wait a minute! Her voice echoed in the empty streets. It would be problematic if people began to congregate. He quickly left the vicinity of the Shiratori household. Azai. With that name in his ears, Mao's heart sank into a deep darkness. His head throbbed in agony. After getting off the subway and arriving at the business district, he still hadn't found his calm. Oops. It felt as though a blizzard had frozen the darkness within his heart.
浅井ではない
I am not Azai. Why would that bother him? Unforgivable. Azai. Azai Gonsu. He pushed Mother over the edge. He pushed Mother over the edge? He sought out a family deep in debt and made their life a living hell. Many times Maou has told himself, I am Samejima Toshikatsu's son. Wait, isn't Azai... Isn't the protagonist supposed to be the son of Samejima Toshikatsu? I'm confused. He felt the pressing desire to kill a certain someone who bore the name Azai. The pedestrians who approached Maou quickly moved out of his way, unable to meet his gaze. He remembers his father. He remembers the father whose name Samejima Toshikatsu would raise the eyebrows of anyone who heard it. Maou once swore before his father to wash away the humiliation forced on him. Maou was willing to drench his hand in blood to fulfill this oath. He will not allow anyone to stop him. Not the police, not the Yakuza, not that one hero. None of them will stand in his way.
見つかるものか。
I won't be found by the likes of them. He's no longer that weak child. Now he has true power. Now he has money. I'm confused. Am I right with this? I mean, I'm pretty much sure that even though I'm very, very bad with names and I can be seriously mistaken here, but... Huh. The proof? No one had noticed. Still, no one knows that I am Maou. I gazed upon the night sky. The time for battle has come. I reached out for the sky. This doesn't look like Azai Kyosuke. Higher and higher, 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 as if wishing to clutch and shatter the moon. The pain in my skull still hasn't subsided. Wow, we see his face, but I can't realize who it is. It's as if I have another being inside me. A being that's trying to interfere with my movements. Or is it? Does he have a split personality? Nevertheless, I have ways to ease this headache. I plan my revenge. Battle, capture, win. These thoughts quickly brighten my mood. At the moment, my primary objective is to see this kidnapping through to a successful conclusion. This is a perfect plan. It's so flawless that you can call the fail-safe measures redundant. The only thing left is to boldly execute the plan without hesitation. I immediately dialed the number on the phone. It's already midnight. It wouldn't be strange for a normal family to be asleep at this time. After 3 rings, someone quietly picked up the phone. It's Tsubaki.
Hi, Miwa desu.
Yes, this is the Miwa family. I could tell from her voice that she wasn't in her normal state of mind.
Moshi, dochira-sama desu ka?
Hello, who is this? Obviously, the reason for Tsubaki's nervousness stemmed from the fact that her brother still hadn't come home yet. She might be crying. I just dragged an innocent family into the depths of hell. Is that not truly the role of the devil? As Tsubaki was one on the verge of a nervous breakdown, I chose the right tone before I slowly began. This isn't the same person! Is this Adai Kyosuke? Is Adai Kyosuke in reality really Maou? Could it be? No, he looks... We see his face and I can't realize if this is really the one. I mean, we saw Adai Kyosuke before on the counseling of the therapy. If this even is the right word I chose right there. And we couldn't see his eyes. And we can clearly see his eyes. And in the pictures we saw from Azai Kyosuke, he has black hair and he has gray hair. So... And now the voice faded. There's no longer a voiceover. So the only character who does not have a voiceover in this whole novel is Azai Kyosuke. So is this actually Azai Kyosuke? Does he really have a double... Does he really live a double life? A triple life? The boy is in my hands. If you don't want him to die, follow my instructions. Although it's rather cliché, do not contact the police. Please help me out on this. I have no idea what's going on. I will read on and whatever. Okay, I'm gonna leave this episode right here. I hope you enjoyed it so far. Leave a like if you did, and I will hopefully see you in the next episode. Stay tuned.